Hello, dear listeners. Welcome to the Serving Purpose podcast, a friendly space where we'll unravel the secrets of confidently sharing your testimony or your story. Yes, I'm Angeline Edwards, your host and a fellow story enthusiast. I love telling stories. Today, we're diving into three ways that you can encourage and empower yourself to confidently stand to tell your story behind a microphone or just in front of friends and share that transformation that you just went through. So grab your favorite beverage, find a comfy spot, and let's talk about becoming a confident storyteller. Hey, friend, do you want to be fulfilled and satisfied in your life? Are you tired of your work that gives you no passion and no purpose? Do you desire to have more positive influence and impact to help others? Hi, I'm Angeline Edwards. I'm a poet, author, speaker, podcaster, and your purpose and courage coach. I want to help clarify your calling and turn your pain into purpose. How do I do all this and be a sane mom with God in the center of it all? I pray this episode will bless, inspire, encourage, and empower you. So join me now, will you? Come on, tune in. All right, I want to share a short story about me. Back in the day when I first went on stage by myself in front of over 1,000 people, and the experience was basically, I was shaking in my boots. You see, what happened was I was going to a large church, and a friend of my dad's, asked me to do Mission Story Spotlight. And I said, okay. I only said okay because I knew who he was. All right. And I went home and I memorized that story. Like I read it over and over and over and over until I was like, okay, I can tell the story. Now, when the day came and I finally went on the podium, I had the story in front of me just in case I would blank out. You know that feeling. My legs are shaking and I'm holding on to the podium as tight as possible. And I told the story. Now, I told the story with emotion, with feelings. I slowed down, I sped up. I really wanted to just grasp the story as a story and not as a reading. Well, as it was over and not even church was over, but people were coming up to me when there was like breaks or sections, and they were saying, "Oh, you did such a good job. Oh, you're good on stage. Oh, this and that and this and that." Well, later on, he came to me and he said to me, "You have a gift." And I was like, "No, it's just a story. Come on, it's just a story." He's like, "No, you have a gift of speaking. I would like you to be Sabbath school superintendent." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Anyways, long story short, I became a Sabbath school superintendent. And to this day, even though I would go up nervous every time, I would always deliver. And people would always say, "Oh, oh," and this and that and this and that. You know, I want to tell you something. You need to embrace your story. Understand the power of your story. Because you go through life experiences, you're going through a journey. We all are. And yours is uniquely yours. And they matter because it's your life, your story. So embrace your story, embrace your testimony. It's like holding a precious gem. You shine it up, you polish it up every time you tell the story. So it's essential to understand that your story, no matter how ordinary it might seem or how simple it is, it can profoundly impact others for a number of reasons. They resonate with your story. Somebody out there went through what you went through. I know somebody out there went through what I went through on that stage. Shaking, nervous, but memorized their script and you delivered, nervous the whole time. There's many of you like that out there. Some of you refuse to go on a stage or a podium. But you have to understand that your story is a gift. My story is a gift. And you must share it. And you will learn to share it with confidence. There's a quote that someone said, I have no idea who said this, but they said, your voice is the most potent instrument you own. Use it wisely to inspire, to uplift, and bring positive change. I don't know about you, that's a pretty powerful point. The second point that I want to mention is practice your delivery. You see, practice your delivery. Practically, you can't just be confident the first time. And nobody really is. Even in school, when the teacher tells you to go up to the front, how many times were you nervous? But you have to learn to confidently share your story or testimony because practice makes perfect. Yes, you've heard this cliche before, and it's true, right? Practice your delivery is key. It's fundamental. How do you do this? Well, practically record yourself and, listen to all those hiccups or rehearse in front of a mirror and look at your facial expressions. How do you come across? Share your story with trusted friends or family members and practice with them. Every night before I go to bed, I share at least something that I'm grateful for that day with either my daughter or somebody else. It's very important that you do this because the more you practice, the more confident you become, right? And over time, you will just walk on stage like nothing. Now, after all these years, I'm talking a good 30 years, because I've done lounges. I'm a poet. I've done lounges, going into lounge, doing poetry or spoken word, uh, banquets, church functions, even funerals. Like, I still get a tinge of nervousness, but it goes away in no time. So practice, practice, practice. Okay, so each practice session is going to bring you closer to confidence. I'm going to say it again. Each practice session brings you closer to confidence. There's a quote by a lady named Helen Hayes, and she said, the expert in anything was once a beginner. That's right. We all started somewhere. Everybody starts somewhere. Even the great gurus of all our time, they all started somewhere. Point number 3 I want to mention is connect with who you're talking to, the audience. Connect with audience. Remember, your story isn't just about you. It may happen to you, but when you connect with your audience, the story is now for them. So take a moment to reflect on your message and the impact it will have on them, how it will inspire them, how it may motivate them, empower them. And when you approach your storytelling, put heart in it. Feel the heartbeat of your audience. And then your confidence will just naturally shine. And especially when you're excited and you're exuberant, especially it's one of those happy ones where it's like, oh, look what happened to me. Or, you know, it just comes across with such joy and they could feel it, they could sense it. So plant seeds of faith in others so that when they hear your testimony, they will come to believe. There's a quote that says, the power to change, the power to inspire, and the power to move others resides within your voice. Practice it until it rings true. Oh, I don't know about you, but that was beautiful. Well, there's one story in the Bible, the woman at the well. I don't know if you don't know that story, but please read it. What would have happened to you if you don't tell your story? This woman at the well, what would happen to her if she didn't tell her testimony and just kept it to herself? Nobody would have come to Christ. She ran to the town saying, look, I found a man. She found the right man. And it was man number 7, perfection. And she came to Christ and she was changed. And even though her story ain't pretty, it's a little embarrassing actually, but she didn't care. She ran and told, hey, look, because I'm sure a lot of them knew her story anyways. And they came running, like wondering, wow, she definitely did change. And so many people got delivered and transformed because of one person's testimony. It made a huge difference in the whole town. What about you? What difference can you make in the lives of others with your one testimony? I challenge you to be like the woman at the well. I challenge you to share your story today. I challenge you to share your testimony to others before you lay your head down. And believe the good things God has done in your life. Take that challenge. How has God healed you? How has He changed you? How has He transformed you? How has He saved you? How has He delivered you from the trenches into His marvelous light? In fact, I actually preached a sermon about the woman at the well. I think I'll leave a link for you to listen if you want to listen later. There is a scripture, Matthew 5:16, and it says, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Let your light shine. Tell your story. So I've uncovered 3 ways to empower your voice. And I just want to let you know that you have to embrace your story. You have to practice your delivery, and you have to connect with your audience. Now, if you have a transformational story that is so good and you just have to share it, then contact me. I'll feature you in one of my podcast shows. So reach out to me at servingpurposepodcast@gmail.com. servingpurposepodcast@gmail.com, and just say, hey, I got a story. So I'd love to hear from you. I can schedule you. And then together we can share and testify God's goodness. In fact, if you're too shy, there is another option. Put your testimony in the review of this podcast. of this episode and then forward it to at least 10 people or more, 10, 15, 20 people. And then that way they will get to read your testimony written in the review. Why don't you do that? Try it today. Remember, your story has power to inspire, connect, and uplift others. And that is what we want to do, my friends. So go out there, start writing, start telling, start preaching, start sharing, become a confident storyteller. Embrace your story, practice your delivery, and connect with your audience. Keep sharing your remarkable, very remarkable miracles with confidence. Put heart into it, and it will glorify your Father in heaven with these testimonies. Well, that's it for now. See you soon, and hit that follow button, will ya? I'd love you to hear my next episode. Okay, until next time. Bye for now. Well, friend, hope you loved today's episode. I pray you learned something and it challenged you to think, to reflect, and I hope it empowered you to make a change. If blessed, just stop right now and share this episode with someone who needs this. This may be the exact message they are praying for. It would bless me if you would leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Check out my online course to move your dream forward, and also download the free PDF of the month. Together, let's live a healthy, balanced life, serving with purpose. Until next episode, God bless.